guys, happy Wednesday. Meteorologist Erica Lopez here, giving you guys an update on what's now a Category 1 Hurricane Dorian. So this is the latest coming out from the National Hurricane Center. Right now, Dorian impacting the Virgin Islands. Also, here's Puerto Rico. If you can see San Juan, here's Puerto Rico. The center of circulation is just east of Puerto Rico, so it's not expected to make a direct landfall, but we are going to feel tropical force winds in this area. Right now, the potential of hurricane force winds for British Virgin Islands at the moment. So here's a look at the latest stats. It's barely a Category 1 hurricane. We need wind speeds at 74 miles an hour for it to be a hurricane. So it's just at that threshold right now, 75-mile-an-hour wind speeds sustained. So gusts a little higher at times, moving to the northwest at 13 miles an hour. So the good news is that it has momentum. It's moving. That means the sooner it pushes through, the sooner it's going to get out of here, and we won't have to deal with these impacts for folks along the Virgin Islands and also Puerto Rico. So this is coming out from the latest advisory, and I also want to touch bases on the latest forecast cone because there's a lot of questions on this because of the potential impacts that we could have for Florida for this Labor Day weekend. So I'm going to talk about the latest forecast cone, starting with here. So here we are right now, by Wednesday evening, still expecting Category 1 hurricane. And notice that it remains a Category 1 hurricane as we fast forward to Thursday. But once this system starts to move into the Caribbean waters, those areas are a little more conducive at the moment for development. So that's why we're going to see momentum start to build in, strengthening winds. The system will be strengthening as we head closer to Friday. Notice 85-mile-an-hour wind speed. So we're still talking about a hurricane at the moment. But once we get through this weekend, so here we are Saturday into Sunday, 150-mile-an-hour winds. That is a major hurricane. That's a Category 3 hurricane, as a matter of fact, and then possibly making landfall somewhere along the Florida coast. Notice this is several days out, and the cone of uncertainty, which is this yellow shaded color, it is very broad. So right now it does extend from southern parts of Georgia all the way to the southern tip of Florida. So the reason why it's so broad is because this is still several days out. Models are trending this system to Florida as a major hurricane, the possibility of that happening. It's still too early to tell where exactly we will have landfall or the greatest impacts because of this system. Okay, so want to give you an update on the latest spaghetti models also. Right now, the system, again, if you're just tuning in, Dorian is officially a Category 1 hurricane with wind speeds sustained at 75 miles an hour. All of the models are agreeing that it will stay north of island of Hispaniola, or Hispaniola right now. This is Dominican Republic. Haiti is right here. So the good news is that Dominican Republic not going to see major impacts with this because they're actually on the quieter side of the system. All right, the dirtier side will be on the right-hand side of this system, and we're talking about Category 1 through the next 24 to 48 hours. And notice continuing to move closer to Florida. There's a few outliers that try to take it south of Florida. A lot of outliers that try to take it up the Atlantic coast, but I would say the majority of them do make this system as a Category 3 hurricane, making landfall sometime around Sunday or Monday, which would be Labor Day this weekend, along the eastern Florida coast. So again, lots of questions on this. As far as where we are right now, I'm going to actually try to pull up this live feed. We are streaming live right now on Facebook, on Twitter, so this is also giving you guys an opportunity to ask any questions. I'm tuning in right now. Melanie saying prayers for Puerto Rico. I know Puerto Rico is still recovering from Maria, which happened 2 years ago. So this is something they don't need. The only positive thing I have to say about this is that it's a quicker moving storm. Right now we have tropical force winds, and then if you look at the center of circulation right here, notice a lot of the thunderstorms, a lot of the convection associated with the system is actually to the right of Puerto Rico. It's to the east of Puerto Rico. So kind of best case scenario that we could deal with at the moment for Puerto Rico. They still are expected to feel at least tropical storm force winds. That's what they're dealing with right now. And the heavy rainfall is definitely going to be the major threat with this system. 8 to 12 inches easily. Okay, Josh was asking, what about the unnamed system north of Dorian? Good question, Joshua. So even though this live stream I'm focusing more on Dorian, there is another tropical depression, which it was the named system, believe it or not. It was named Erin. So now we're talking about tropical depression Erin. Erin, not going to be an impact to the U.S. whatsoever. Here's Bermuda. Here's the coastal areas of the United States, the mid-Atlantic, so not expecting to be an issue for us, potentially making landfall as a weak tropical storm for Canada. So that's the latest on tropical depression Erin that Joshua was asking about. So it officially was our E-named storm for this year. Hopefully that answers your question. Continue to ask any questions here. So I'm going to pop up this graphic and let you know exactly what the latest forecast cone is coming out from the last advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Liz is asking, please stay away from Houston. Let's talk about Houston. What does this mean for us? Okay, well, we still need to watch this. Okay, it's several days away, even though it is expected to reach the coastal areas of Florida as a major hurricane this weekend. There is the possibility that it could cross Florida into the Gulf of Mexico waters. There are a few models that are saying that. And again, this has constantly been changing. This forecast will constantly change. So it's not out of the question that it's something that we may get some indirect or direct impacts from. Okay, it would be several days out, but it is something we have to be on guard for. Just, you know, another reminder to always make sure you have your hurricane kit prepared for this time of the year. It's entering into the most active period of hurricane season. Traditionally, or typically I should say, hurricane season starts to really ramp up after August 20th. What are we at? August 28th, 29th? I'm losing track. August 28th. And the peak of hurricane season is September 10th. So we're getting closer to peak hurricane season. It is getting very, very active out there. Yeah, lots of people are just saying, just prayers for Puerto Rico right now. I would say prayers for Virgin Islands also. They're probably getting stronger impacts by this. Hurricane force winds for Virgin Islands. Will Dorian play out or cross over into the Gulf? Tanya, hopefully I just answered that question for you. There are a couple of models taking the system out into the Gulf of Mexico. Forecast is still way too far out to talk about that, though. A lot of the models are kicking the system, clipping it back into the Atlantic. So we still do not know quite just yet. What we do know is that Florida needs to be on guard for the potential of a Category 3 hurricane making landfall sometime this weekend. So past that, all is up in the air. Cone of uncertainty keeps it starts to get more broad. If you're wondering why this extends out, that's basically because the further out we go time-wise, each line is a timeline of 24 hours, and each line, that cone of uncertainty gets wider and wider, because the further the forecast goes out, the more uncertain we are with the forecast. So if you're ever wondering why they call it the cone of uncertainty. Are there any other potential systems in the eastern Atlantic forming? As of right now, nothing that we're really watching. I'm going to zoom out on our tropical satellite. There are a few waves. Notice several waves coming off the coast of Africa. Everything is very disorganized, so we don't have any system that has the potential of development at the moment right now. So these are our main issues right now. This is... Here it is, now Category 1 Hurricane Dorian, and then this is Tropical Depression Erin. Again, Erin, not a concern for us. That's going to be something that continues to move away from the United States, away from Bermuda. It's sandwiched in between Bermuda and the U.S. Let's take a closer look as to what's going on right here. So overall, we are going to see some thunderstorms with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is still trying to, recover from Hurricane Maria. So it is something that is worrisome, but the greatest impacts for Puerto Rico is going to be the heavy rain. It's a very mountainous area. So we're talking the possibility of flash flooding, landslides are a possibility for this area, and tropical storm force winds are the greatest that we are expecting from this. Okay, so All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Keep on asking questions here. I am going to update some stuff to get ready for our next updates, and also getting ready for the 411, which comes up at 4. So I'll make sure to have all your latest information on the forecast, what we can expect, especially if you have your friends, family, loved ones in Florida. If you potentially had any plans to go to Florida, I do know a few people who had plans to go to Florida for Labor Day, so we'll make sure to give you guys updates on that. Just stay tuned with the forecast at least 2 times a day, because again, these models consistently are changing, and we can't rule out indirect or direct impacts from this system eventually leading into next week for the Houston area. Again, right now, not going to be the case. It's very, very far away, but it's still something we definitely have to watch. Okay, well, I'll let you guys go. Comment below. I'll try to get to your questions also, and we'll chat with you guys soon.